So you built a business from scratch, late nights, bad coffee, 100 mini panic attacks, and somehow you made it. But now you're wondering, how do I leave? Not like in a dramatic storm out of the door way, but in a smart, strategic, I'm gonna cash out or move on like a boss kind of way. Today, we are diving deep into the real options for entrepreneurs, not the investors, but the entrepreneurs who are ready to move on, and what each exit path actually looks like. No fluff, just real talk. And hey, even if you're not planning to exit anytime soon, this stuff matters because how you build today directly affects how you exit tomorrow. So, whether you're 2 months or 2 years in, this is something which you want to start thinking about now, not later. All right. So first up is the strategic sale. This is where you sell your business to a bigger company. Maybe it's a competitor, maybe it's someone who's looking to expand their offering. Either way, this is where the big checks come in. Why it's awesome? Well, you usually get paid a premium. The buyer wants your customer base, your tech, your talent, your IP, and they'll pay for it. The downside, you lose control completely. And sometimes you've got to stick around for a few months or even years to help smoothen the transition. The best case of a strategic sale in Indian startup ecosystem was Walmart's acquisition of Flipkart for $20 billion. This was the most iconic example of a strategic sale and signified a true coming of the Indian startup ecosystem. The best, most recent example of this is HUL's acquisition of Minimalist. HUL paid almost 3,000 crores, which involves 2670 crore in cash to acquire 90% of Minimalist, and the remaining 10% will be covered over the next 2 years, where the founders have to stay within the company, ensure that the smooth transition takes place to HUL. This was one of the largest and the best example of strategic sale in the most recent memory. Option number two, IPO. Yeah, taking your company public. Selling shares on the stock market. It's flashy. You ring the bell, you wear a suit, and suddenly you're in all the major news outlets. But going public isn't a fairy tale. It's extremely expensive, it is stressful, and it puts your business under a giant microscope. If your books aren't spotless and your story isn't tight, the market will eat you alive. So, unless you're already a pretty big fish, maybe not your first stop. There have been lots of good examples and bad examples of the same. While Zomato has generated very good returns for the investors who not just invested before IPO but also during the IPO, Swiggy has gone down even below the listing price. Two companies in the exact same industry having completely different outcomes in the public market. So, doing an IPO can be one of the best forms of exits if done correctly, but also extremely challenging. We have lots of other examples as well, like Paytm, which did not sell that well in the IPO. Even Ola Electric, as you all know, Ola Electric has been struggling for the past few months. So, getting this IPO route down is an extremely hard, and even though it might look extremely glamorous, it's not as easy as everyone would think. Let's talk the third option, management buyout. This one's pretty underrated. You've got a solid leadership team, people who know the business inside and out. Instead of selling to strangers, they buy you out. You get paid, and the business stays in good hands. But there's a catch. It depends on whether they can raise the money from investors. If your business is worth millions and they are not exactly rolling in venture capital, it might not happen. But if the PE and the VC funds are willing to support the management team and help them with the transition of removing from the founders to the top level managers, this could be one of the best ways to exit as well. And of course, for traditional businesses, there's the family succession part. If you've got a family business, maybe your son or daughter has been working beside you since she was 15 years old, this might be the move. But family succession is extremely emotional and can be very challenging. It only works if the next generation wants the business, understands it, and actually has the skill to run it. And also, the old guard needs to be willing to pass on to the next generation. Both these conditions need to be met for a smooth family succession plan to work smoothly. Otherwise, you're not passing a torch, you're passing a headache. And finally, here's the one which no one likes to talk about, including myself, distress selling. Selling off of assets, closing shop, walking away. Sometimes, unfortunately, it's the only option. Maybe the market shifted, maybe you ran out of capital, Maybe you were not able to adapt to the market conditions, or maybe there were just some underlying conditions of the market where you were over dependent on a few clients and you were not able to survive those clients leaving your business. It happens. Sometimes it's the only option left to stop bleeding money and move on. I recently created a video of delivery acquiring Ecom Express at a significant discount, which essentially covered what distress selling looks like. So let's take a breath. That's a lot of information, I know. But here's the big idea. You don't need to pick your exit strategy right away. You just need to build your business with an exit in mind, because the way you grow should lead directly to how you go. If you're building to sell, build systems that run without you. If you're building to pass it on, start grooming your successor early. And if you're building to IPO, start treating your business like it's public already. That means financial discipline, legal discipline, everything. Your books need to be completely clear, audited by Big Four to ensure that the LDD and the FDD is completely taken care of. Every decision you make now is either adding to your exit value or subtracting from it. So, whether you walk away with millions, hand it over to your team, or close the chapter and start fresh, have a plan. Know your why, know your how, and most importantly, build like you're going to exit like a legend. If this video helped you clarify things, hit that subscribe button below. And if you need help raising capital, whether it's debt or equity for your business, check out the video in the left where I cover how I can help raise funds for your business in less than a month. Take care.